You are listening to Claret Blue, an Aston Villa podcast brought to you by Birmingham Live.
Hello, welcome to the Claret Blue podcast. My name is Dan Robertson. I'm joined by Ashley Priest for a change. Ash, how are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm well, all good in the hood, as they say. Yeah, I've had my hair trimmed off and all. No messing.
Yeah, that's good.
So, all good, mate, thanks.
I've got internet issues today, which is the first time this has happened in the new house. So bear with me if anything goes wrong. I've also just dropped my keyboard as we started there, which is why I look like I'd jumped at the start of the episode. So I'm going to move that out of the way and crack on. So, here to chat all things Aston Villa. If you've got a question from myself or Ash, get it involved in the comment section on Facebook Live and we'll answer as many as we can. We'll start with some, not sad news, but it's been 1 year since we were last allowed in Villa Park against Tottenham. I actually wasn't there because I was ill that day. So my last game was, I think, the Leicester Cup game. So it's not the 18th of January, my last game. So it's been 1 whole year since there was 40,000 in Villa Park. You've written a lovely piece today to kind of remember it as if it's a weird thing. And yeah, it feels a bit sad, doesn't it, when you sit and reflect on it?
Don't know, Dan, really does. Yeah, I close my eyes and I'm walking outside the Aston Social. I'm going up the old steps and stuff like that today. And yeah, just missing it really. It's not the same. You might as well be up Red Ice Park or Moor Lane watching Villa. It's that sad now. It's just nothing there. Other than Dave Paulson, who's the stadium announcer, everyone will recognise his voice. He's still there, so that's the one familiarity you've got. But other than that, it's just soulless. And I can't believe Villa fans haven't seen your Martinez in the flesh yet. They haven't seen Ollie Watkins, haven't seen Cash, and they haven't seen the best ever Jack Grealish. So I'm longing for the day for the turnstiles to be back open, to be honest. And yeah, it's just like I say, it's soulless at the moment, and I'm one of the very few lucky Villa fans to be there week in, week out. So yeah, like I say, very lucky, and 12 months on, it's just so sad. So hopefully this year it's back open, mate, and get bouncing and rocking again.
What is it like as a journalist being there and obviously being a fan of Villa as well? Part of you there must enjoy the experience of watching Villa as a football team and as a fan of the club, but also your job role is different now because you're one of the few that's allowed inside the stadium. Can you kind of talk me through what it's like on a match day with all the restrictions and stuff like that?
Part of it, it's your job really. You're going to work, but there's a little bit of butterflies inside you being that fan as well. Villa need to win tonight. You're willing them to go forward. You're willing them to score goals. And take that 7-2, for example, Liverpool. I just didn't know. I was just watching it in just total astonishment. I didn't know what was happening. I froze almost. I was like, is this happening? Is this real? And just stuff like that, really. And obviously, you're juggling your player ratings. You're trying to watch everything going on. And so, yeah, it's totally different to watching at home. I've had a couple of games. I missed the Albion game over Christmas, and I watched that at home, which is nice and easy. You're watching it at home, you've got all the analysis there. But Villa Park, you haven't really got a telly, you've got no replays, you're not seeing any VAR stuff. So yeah, it's totally different, mate. And obviously it is work, but at the same time, there's a little boy inside here, just wanting Villa to do really well. So yeah, it's a bit of a mixed bag, really. It's lovely if you can report on a nice, comfortable 2-0, 3-0. You can sit and enjoy the game then. But when the last minute goals going in and penalty decisions, you're pulling your hair out a little bit. You just want a nice, easy Saturday afternoon down the Villa. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it's going great now.
I've got the odd grey hair coming here, so we all feel it. There's a question from Alex Langley who says, how is the club going to deal with what's going to be bedlam for tickets for home and away games when we're allowed to get back? Has the club spoke about tickets at any point, or is it way too early for that?
Yeah, I think Perslow mentioned it in his interview before last. He's been patient with it. Listen, no one knows what the situation is going to be in a couple of months' time, so I think they'll analyse it in the summer. I can't see fans being back in before that. They're going to trial it, aren't they, for the Carabao Cup final and FA Cup final. So as it stands, I'd probably say start of next season, fans will be in, and I think Villa now will be drumming up some kind of contingency plan for supporters. You think back to last season, seeing ticket holders, we had 30,000 there, didn't we? So you got to guarantee them getting their season ticket holders back. So that leaves what? 12,000, 10,000 on the gate. So I think it'd be similar, to be honest with you. Obviously, I think it'd be similar to that, really.
What do you think that first game back will be like with fans? Because we've had some brilliant atmospheres over the years. You think of derby games and playoff semi-finals and whatever else. I'm sure anyone watching this could think of a great atmosphere over the years that they've been to. that first game back for a 42,000 sellout is going to be I think it'll be quite a weird experience. I'm in this weird position where with all the coronavirus stuff, when I even watch old games, I kind of look at it and think, that's alien to me now. I can't imagine 42,000 people sat together again.
I think it'll eclipse everything. It'll eclipse even probably your derby days and stuff. That first game back after a year away, longer than a year away, it's just going to be mental. I think it'll be a real carnival. I really do. Celebrating COVID's nipped in the bud for now, and everyone's back amongst it, and they're seeing this new Villa side that have been brilliant to watch from afar. So I think it'll be total party time at Villa Park, a reason to celebrate as well on and off the pitch, and I think it'll be an incredible atmosphere once Villa Park's full again. So yeah, roll on for me.
Let's get into some of these questions then. There's a few coming in, football-related stuff. We'll move away from tickets because it is an unknown at this point. Bradley Birch says, would you drop Barkley and maybe move McGinn forward and then have Sanson or Nakamba next to Louise? So I suppose there's a two-parter there. First of all, do you drop Barkley? And second, is it Sanson or Nakamba that comes in, do you think?
Question for Dean Smith, not me, but no, listen. Yeah, I did ask about McGinn's new role. Really precarious that he's been asked to play a bit deeper, isn't he, this year? It's totally nullifying his threats. He's known for being that lung-busting midfielder, getting in behind defences and finishing. Well, he started last season like a house on fire, didn't he, McGinn, scoring left, right and centre. So he's been nullified in that respect. He's doing a job in there. He's protecting the back four. And Smith's been pleased with him alongside Douglas Luiz. So is he fitting Barkley in for the sake of fitting Barkley at the moment? Possibly. He's waiting for Barkley to rediscover his form. Everyone knows his form. He's a world beater on his day. And he was brilliant before his injury, with his injury coming at a real bad time. So McGinn's filling in at the moment. He's doing what's asked. Like I've always said this, Smith's a big favourite. McGinn's a big favourite of Smith's. And he trusts him with his life. So, okay, he's a bit more 6 out of 10 from McGinn at the moment, but he's doing what's asked. He's protecting the back four. Another clean sheet at the weekend. And, maybe Nakamba deserves a shot because look at him. He came in against Arsenal. He was excellent. So, Well, McGinn's got that bit more attacking threat about him, but he's not showing that at the moment. So there's question marks there for that midfield for sure. I thought Sanson showed more than Barkley did at the weekend when he come up. Had a real energy about him. He wants to prove a point, and he's chomping at the bit to get that starting shirt off Barkley. So, really interesting one for Sunday now for Smith's team. Will he persevere with Barkley, given he's in different form? So we'll soon see with that one. For me, he probably warrants it. A switch up, really does. Teams are probably sussing Villa out now. Look at West Ham and Brighton now, and Villa squirmed past Arsenal in the end, which was a great result, but. Maybe switch things up, perhaps Grealish in a number 10. He's been nullified of late with West Ham. They doubled up on him. Did the same at Brighton. Got no joy. So maybe Grealish in the middle. That's an option, and get Trezzy back in there, or El Ghazi perhaps, just to give Villa a bit more of a goal threat. But I think time for a freshen up, perhaps. Other teams sussing Villa out, maybe. But be a tough test on Sunday now against informed Leicester.
Just on Barkley, every time there's an out-of-form, loaney player, the same conversation comes up amongst football fans everywhere saying, it's an obligation that he has to play even though he's not in form. Is it some kind of contract that he has to play a certain amount of minutes? I'm not sure whether this is a realistic thing in actual football or whether it's a Football Manager FIFA 20 kind of thing. They have to play 80% of games if fit, because it just seems one of those things that people throw out that Barkley's not playing well at the moment. Smith keeps picking him, which I assume is to play him into fitness or play him back into form, and not a Chelsea say he needs to play 90% of minutes, so he has to play. Jay White says, do you think we'll be keen on signing him permanently? This is something that me, Matt and James talked about in the last post-match podcast. At one stage, we were all going 30, 40 million, pay whatever Chelsea want. Now I'm kind of sitting here going, there's probably better deals to be found elsewhere. How do you assess the Barkley situation now?
It's a good debate, isn't it? It's a great debate to have, really. It's up to Barkley for me. At the moment, is he doing enough to warrant a permanent move to Villa Park? No. Can he force his way into Villa's reckoning for a summer move? Yes. 16 games to go. It's all on Barkley now. I did a piece yesterday. He's got to prove his doubters wrong again, because when he arrived, question marks were there, wasn't there? He was on the bench at Chelsea, weren't getting a kick, and within 2 weeks at Villa Park, he's the new Messiah. Brilliant marquee signing, just what we needed. Barkley's back. and things never looked so good. So, but now after his injury, he played 6 games in 18 days. I don't know when the last time he did that, to be honest, because he hasn't played a lot of football continuously within a short space of time throughout his career. So, and Smith reminded him of that when he took him off against Arsenal and Barkley booted the bag. But regarding a permanent move, it's not on the table yet. I think Barkley's got to do some more for that to happen. Chelsea will assess the situation in the summer, as will Villa. So Smith said to me, no talks have been taking place at the moment regarding that. And Barkley needs to concentrate on his football. For me, he wants to get in the Euros as well, which he's looking at an impossible task, given the players in position. I mean, your Madisons, Grealish, Foden. He ain't getting a kick in there at the moment. So it's all on Barkley for me now. He needs to show what he's all about. He's come back with a bang like he did back in October. So the ball's in his court for me. He's got to start showing he's this big time player he has been previously. So yeah.
Yeah, agreed. There's a question here from a guy. I'm not going to pronounce his name right, so I'm going to go with Dave, even though it's definitely wrong. He says, how badly will we miss the awesome Matty Cash until he's back from injury? Do we know what the extent of this injury is yet? I've not heard anything from Smith. He hobbled off, clutching the back of his hamstring. If it is a hamstring, you'd expect it to be several weeks rather than a game or two. That'll be a big miss, won't it? Yeah,
he confirmed the hamstring injury afterwards, Smith did. So Villa have had 2 hamstring injuries this year, Barkley and Trezeguet. Both of them are 7 games. Missed 7 games, so it's very, very worrying for me. Okay, Almo's probably going to come in. He'll be up against Harvey Barnes, which is an impossible task in itself. And Barnes has scored 5 and assisted 2 in his last 10. So it's going to be tough to go in. But Almo's been Mr. Reliable for over the last few years now, and if he's one to put in a performance when you don't expect it, Almo's your man. So, yeah, tough ask down that left-hand side, down Villa's right-hand side, I should say, on Sunday. So, yeah, wishing Cash a speedy recovery because he's been excellent this season. And we've seen over the weekend that Freddie Gilbert's doing all right in France now as well. Got an assist in League on Team of the Week. So, Villa perhaps ruined that decision, but they've got Almo. Conte's played there in the past, and young Kane Kessler's coming good in the academy as well. Should Smith need the options, but I think it'd be Almo on Sunday. Really good chance for him to come back into the side. He hasn't started in the last 12 or 13 games. Big test for Almo Sunday. Hopefully he can do the business.
There's a massive comment here from Doug O'Brien about corners. I'm going to read the whole thing out. I've never really thought about this at all, and it's massive, so bear with me. He says, please explain why Jack Grealish has only 1 assist from his right-footed left-wing corners in over 207 appearances for our great club. I love Jack because he's an amazing player, but his corner kicks are truly awful. Same principle applies to Traore's left-footed right-wing corners. Truly shocking. Can someone, maybe you, Ash, please ask Dino to start getting left-footed players to take left-sided corners and right-footed players to take right-sided corners? Job done.
Love it.
What's on our set pieces, mate? Is that fair? Truly shocking and truly awful?
There's nothing worse than seeing a corner not beat the first man. Is that everyone gets annoyed at that? I think Jack's been guilty of it. Traore's been guilty of it. I think Smith just likes the in-swingers. I think Grealish now and again he shouts. He gets his arm and goes red.
Yeah.
Got a colour code, haven't they?
There was one a few games ago, possibly West Ham. He shouted blue. He put one hand up and shouted blue, and it was a terrible corner. And I said after I'd never take a blue corner again. And then I think against Brighton, I heard him shout red with 2 hands. So I don't know what the difference is. They did a nice, kind of short corner routine a couple of games ago. Kind of came into the front post and back out to the edge of the area. I think little things like that I like. But to be fair, Doug's got a semi-decent point in that massive comment that our set pieces aren't as good as they probably should be.
No, especially when you got Mings there as well, and Konsa. They've been in the goal start of the year. Both of them scored for a while now, but yeah, I think Smith prefers the in-swingers. I mean, the out-swingers are harder to get a connection on for that power to go goalwards. But yeah, perhaps we're missing Conor Horan in that department, set piece specialist. I mean, Grealish used to hang around outside the edge of the box, didn't he? In the Championship, he used to volley him home. Back then, he did that at Burton this year as well in the cup. So I think Lansbury's on the corners then, but he's long gone. But yeah, corner takers, it's interesting one. There's not that many to choose from really. Grealish and Burt, you men really for that. I can't think of anyone else really. Douglas Luiz, he has to sit in there just in case there's a counter attack. Your wingers will take your corners. perhaps they need to do better. Could do with some more goals from set pieces, definitely.
Dave says, call me Dave, it's all good. So that is great, because there was another question from him I wanted to go with. Would qualifying for the Europa League be a bad thing? Is it better to be top 4 or 7th to 10th rather than 5th or 6th? So this is making the point that Europa League brings you extra fixtures and congestion and all these kind of things. And if your squad isn't ready for it, is it better to just miss out on Europe altogether, or bypass the Europa League and finish 4th instead, which obviously would be the preferable option, but the more difficult task?
For me, just go for it all the way. Finish 5th. What a brilliant season that'd be in Europa League football. I'll get my passport out then and report from abroad. But longing for Europa League all the way for me. You're attracting immense players then in the summer. Villa are doing something right. Okay, the fixture pile up is not ideal, but you build a squad for that. So Villa need to improve their depth in the summer if they get to that stage. Big ask at the moment, but they're heading to the right direction. 2 games in hand on those above them. So yeah, if they get 5th, incredible season. You can't question that. You do not want that, do you? So yeah, I think Europa League will be an exciting time, and Villa will need to build a bigger squad for sure. But that's what Grealish wants. That's what, you know what I mean, the big players want, and Villa attracts some star names to the squad as well. And just look at your Tottenhams and your clubs like that who have qualified for Europe over the last few years, and the money they've had injected, and it just bodes well for the future. So yeah, big pot of money there if you get into Europe, and Villa will build a squad to do that, and it's what the owners want as well. Wes and Nassif, they want to get into Europe, so all the way for me, it'll be an exciting time. Have I lost Dan? I think I have. But yeah, talking about Leicester on Sunday, perhaps a switch up with Morgan Sanson coming in, yet to start, isn't he, to be honest. So 14 minutes at the Brighton Stadium on Saturday, he wanted more now after his move. He did so much more to warrant that as well. He showed a lot of desire when he come onto the pitch, so he's champing at the bit now as well. Traore was a bit lacklustre at the weekend as well, so we'll see if there'll be a switch up on the right flank for Villa as well. El Ghazi and Trezeguet in reserve there. But yeah, other than that, I can't see too many changes, to be honest. Let's get to some of your questions. James Saunders says, Matty Cash for corners. Yeah, interesting point there, James. I think Matty Cash is there for the breakaway as well. He's one of Villa's quickest players. So he tends to stay back for that, just in case of the counter-attack, which Villa have been guilty of before. So Cash stays back for corners, which is much needed, given the quickness of the players on the break. They catch Villa cold now and again. Danny Barker, summer transfer would be huge for us. If we don't track the quality we need, we will struggle to keep hold of Emi and Grealish. I've seen that Emi Martinez article today, and Garth Cook, she's suggesting if some of the top clubs might want to get Emi Martinez given the form, which is all fair and good given his form, but same with Grealish as well. They've committed to Villa for a reason. They see European football at Villa in the not too distant future, hopefully next season. So exciting times to be a Villa player, let alone a Villa fan. So them pair not going anywhere. But like you say, Danny, I think the summer business is vital. I think a couple of defenders will be on that list. A new striker. We don't know how far Wesley's away yet. Could Keenan Davis head out on loan for some minutes as well. So lots to discuss in the summer for Johan Langer, Purslow and Smith to get around the table and assess how the bolster their squad. Obviously got Elmo going, perhaps, with his contract expiring. Same goes Neil Taylor. So there'll be some freshening up needed in there. Mike Pearson, any updates on Louis Barry's injury? I know he's away from the first team, but we'd love to see him in the 23s pushing on. Yeah, Louis was named Premier League 2 Player of the Month yesterday for January. Had a great month. He scored 12 goals in his last 10 starts, which is frightening, really. Rolled his ankle in training a couple of weeks ago. He's looking to be back in about 3 weeks' time. Burnley in the Under-23 League on March 12th, Maps. That's when we'll obviously Barry back in Under-23s action. So hopefully he's injury-free now from now until the summer, and he can get in the pre-season mix with the first team in the summer months. And yeah, give some Smith some food for thought, definitely. Do you think other teams have found us out now? Grealish has been a no-show in the last couple of games, hasn't he? I think West Ham doubled up on him down the right side, and so did Brighton. Veltman had him in his pocket, to be honest. So I think that's where you're looking at Villa's left-hand side. Could Grealish come inside and impact the game more? Because we all know what he can do. And he's perhaps at the moment, he's wasted out there at the moment. So could be time for a switcheroo. Same with the midfield as well. I thought Douglas Rees did okay at the weekend coming back in. McGinn, I'm not sure what his role is at the moment. He's more defensively minded at present, but I like to see him getting beyond defenders and just giving the team something to think about. And ghosting runs into the box. And he's always good for goals, isn't he, McGinn? So he's been nullified at present regarding the transfers there. Let's have a look. Craig Birch, have I missed Matty Cash's injury extent? Hi, Craig. Thanks for joining in, mate. No diagnosis on that yet from Cash's injury. Hamstring, so you're fearing the worst, aren't you, Craig? They'll have had 2 hamstring injuries this season. First of which was Ross Barkley. He missed 7 games. And then Trezeguet done his hamstring on the eve of the Wolves fixture in November, and he missed 7 games. So if you're judging by that, Matty Cash out for 7 games, it's a massive concern, isn't it, really? And all eyes on Elmo to slot in at right back, who's been, like I've said, Villa's Mr. Reliable from time to time, so hopefully he can come up trumps on Sunday. He's got Harvey Barnes to mark, so it's be tough going, but anyone wants to pull a performance out the bag, it's usually Elmo who comes good, experienced operator. So I think Villa are in safe hands there for Sunday, and a big chance for Elmo to stake his claim.
I'm back, Ash.
Are you back? You saved me? You're all right.
My big apologies to everybody watching. And Ash, I've got my phone on 4G, tried to connect you during that, and I couldn't. I could see that you were still going, answering questions. So bravo, Ashley Preece, for filling that void, because it's difficult to fill when someone disconnects. I've done it before. So apologies for that. Crack on with the question you're about to go with, and then we'll wrap up after the next one, if that's okay.
I've been asked about McGinn here. Rich Clark here. Is it self-harm to the team as well as bad for McGinn playing in deep? That's a bit of an issue for me at the moment, but McGinn's doing a job. He'll do a job for you. He'll play right back if you want him to. McGinn would. So I think Smith just trusts him. McGinn can't be too happy with his performance at Brighton. I thought he was off his usual standard, to be honest. And I think his last good game was Chelsea away, where he was brilliant. So we need a bit more from McGinn. But like you say, he's been asked to do a different role. He's defensively minded now as well. So he's not getting forward. He's not catching the eye as much. He's plugging gaps. He's trying to break up the play. He's stopping passes and nullifying the opposition, whereas before he was like a raging bull, wasn't he, in his approach? So you do really notice that, given what everyone knows about McGinn's style and brilliance of last season. So a bit of an issue for me at the moment, that, but I'd love to see McGinn play higher up in the 10 role, perhaps. I'd love to see him, do you know what I mean, getting in behind Watkins and just causing a threat of himself. So yeah, interesting point, that, and one I'll keep an eye on against Leicester on Sunday.
Did you talk about Ollie Watkins during my absence?
No, I haven't chatted about Watkins.
So there's a point from Rob Bowen that says, what do Villa do if, God forbid, he gets injured? And this is something that we've talked about a few times about, you've got Louis Barry in reserve, you've got Keenan Davis still around it, you've got Wesley to come back, but that's probably going to be the end of the season before he returns. So we won't focus too much on what we do if he gets injured, because hopefully that doesn't even happen. I just want to get your opinion on how good he is and how he compares to other strikers over the last few years. My time of watching Villa is 15-ish years, so you've got Gabby, Carew, Benteke, and probably Watkins in there as the best strikers we've had. He's certainly the best we've had since Benteke. Where does he rank in strikers that you've seen for Villa? Yeah,
he's right up there, to be honest. 10 goals in 22 in the Premier League. First year stepping up, and he's everything you want and more in the number 9. For me, he should have had some more goals, perhaps. And on Saturday, he was very isolated up there against Lewis Duncan. He had 3 centre-halves on him, so tough going on Saturday for Ollie. Still learning his trade at Premier League level, don't forget. But he's on the right lines. Benteke's 19-goal haul should be in his targets for this season. 16 games to go, needs another 10. So there's a carrot for him. Can he break that? Yeah, he's a selfless worker. Great guy. I've seen his interview previously where he's talk about his move to Villa and how his mum was crying in the hotel room. Just how far he's come in a short space of time, from Weston-super-Mare to leading line in the Premier League for Villa. It's a crazy story, really, and I think he's just a breath of fresh air leading that line up front. Whereas last season we had Samatta and Davies who struggled up there, to be honest. But Ollie Watkins is chasing every ball for the Villa cause, and what more do you want, really? So his hard work's getting rewarded, and hopefully on Sunday he's back in the goals. He gives defences a nightmare, to be honest with you. So, yeah, the only critique I've got of Watkins is it's probably down to him playing as a winger for Brentford and Exeter previously. He tends to drift that wide now and again, So he picks up the ball on the touchline, and then I think only Barkley's in the box then, and you really want your number 9 in the box, in and around the 6-yard box, don't you? Just tucking away chances. So that's the only critique of Watkins every now and again. I think that's his eagerness to get on the ball and have a touch of the ball, because it can be quite lonely up there. So yeah, from time to time, I think he needs to staying between the lines, staying between the goalposts, and more goals will come. So I think, yeah. But other than that, it's been fantastic. Value for money there. Long-term addition, long-term addition, and long may it continue as well. So yeah, these are the next milestone.
I remember watching Ollie Watkins' goals at Brentford as just as we signed him, and I can't remember the figure. Was it 26 or something like that in the Championship? And again, I don't know what the figures were, but the vast majority were inside the box, and the majority were in the 6-yard box. So where you want him. That's where you want him playing. You don't want him floating out up wide unless you're playing 2 up top, which Villa don't. The last question I want to finish on before my internet disconnects again, although it seems to be okay at the moment, is from Lorne or Lorna. I'm hungry, so this is why this question's come up. Question of the day, as it's Pancake Day: is it acceptable to have pancakes as a main course or just dessert?
I don't know. I don't really have them as a side, to be honest. Lemon and sugar I have. A bit of Nutella. Nice and easy. Pancake. I don't know, really.
You've got to be having it as a main, I think. That's what I'm doing today. Yeah. Just have loads of pancakes. Not the savoury ones. Still have them sweet, but have loads of pancakes, lemon and sugar, maybe a bit of ice cream. That's what I'll go for.
It's a good old debate, isn't it, the old pancake one? Steve at work, he likes marmite, and I don't know how people feel about that. But yeah, there's some odd toppings from some people, but yeah, load up. That's what I say tonight. Everyone load up on pancakes.
Just as I disconnected, I sent a message to our colleague Matt Davis, who basically does this effectively the same kind of job I do. He hosts the Nottingham Forest podcast that we do. That's his title. So he's waiting in the stream, and he just put a message in the private chat saying, "Oh, can I get involved in this? Because I love pancakes." So Matt, just welcome to the Claret Blue podcast very quickly. Your thoughts on pancakes, please, sir?
I think I was about 85% joking there. I've just been watching Ash floundering for about 20 minutes while you were gone. I should have jumped in. I love a savoury pancake. All-day breakfast pancake, beans, bacon, sausages, all in a pancake, pile it in, and then a nice Nutella one for dessert. I have to make Nutella pancakes every Saturday morning for my kids. They've been there for the last 2 years.
Pancakes isn't really a thing then, is it, in your house, if you have them regularly?
No, pancake Saturday in my house.
Love that. I'm going to move into the Davis household. Definitely not though. Thank you very much, Matt, for your contribution. And thanks, Ash, for filling for me while I disconnected. Just new house teething problems, and hopefully all sorted by the next match day. It's Villa against Leicester on Sunday. I don't know what time it is, but we'll be back with another podcast straight after that. Is it 2?
2 p.m. kickoff.
2 o'clock. So we'll be back Sunday evening-ish, 4 or 5 o'clock, to talk about Villa's hopefully win against Leicester City. Thanks to everyone who joined in on Facebook Live this afternoon and for all your questions. It's really appreciated, especially during my absence. And once again, big thanks and props to Ash for filling that void. Thanks to Matt Davis for keeping a watchful eye over and his pancake contribution. We'll catch you again in a few days' time.
Thank you for listening to Claret and Blue, an Aston Villa podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, then please do let us know. We love hearing your feedback. We'll be back soon with another episode, but until then, up the Villa.